My grandmother left me her old recipe box in her will, and inside was proof my perfect mother has been lying to us for 30 years when Trauma Helen died last month at 92. The reading of her will surprised everyone. My 3 cousins received her jewelry collection, my brother got her vintage car, and I, the granddaughter who couldn't boil water without burning, inherited her handwritten recipe box. She must have been senile at the end. My mother laughed nervously during the attorney's office. Emily can barely make toast. I took the worn wooden box home anyway, touched that Trauma had thought of me, even if bizarrely. That night, I opened it, expecting to find her famous cookie recipes and holiday dinner instructions. Instead, nestled between recipe cards, I found an envelope addressed to me in her delicate handwriting, for Emily to be opened after I am gone. Inside were 2 items, a black and white photograph of a young man in a military uniform I didn't recognize, and a birth certificate, not just any birth certificate. Me mother's, except the father listed wasn't my grandmother James, but someone named Michael Sullivan. The next morning, I called my mother's older sister, Aunt Patricia, who had always been the family truth teller. I wondered if Helen would ever tell anyone. She sighed. Your mother was 3 months old when Dad came home from his military tribunal. Gotten involved with someone while he was away. Dad forgave her and raised your mother as his own. Does Mom know? I whispered. Number your grandmother made us all promise never to tell her. She was afraid it would destroy your mother's perfect image of herself and her family. This explained so much me mother's obsession with appearances, her constant criticism of anyone who didn't meet her standards of propriety, her strained relationship with Grandma Helen. My entire life she preached about our superior family Jackass and how the women in our family simply didn't make mistakes. For 3 days I carried this knowledge around, unsure what to do. Then at Sunday dinner, Mom started in on my cousin's recent divorce. Our family doesn't quit, she said, sipping her wine. We come from stronger stock than that. Actually, Mom, I heard myself saying, I found something in Trauma's recipe box. Her face when I showed her the birth certificate went through emotions I'd never seen before: shock, confusion, rage, and finally a broken volatility that made her look suddenly older. This is a mistake, she whispered. Mother would never. She did, I said gently. And apparently so did you. I reminded her of the abortion she'd forced my gay cousin to have because our family doesn't have accidents. Of the way she cut off contact with Uncle Robert when he admitted to struggling with depression because our family doesn't have mental weakness. Grandma wanted you to know the truth. I continued, showing her the note Helen had included. Emily, share this when it's time for truth to heal rather than hurt. Love, Trauma. Mom didn't speak to me for 2 weeks. When she finally called, her voice sounded different, softer somehow. I found him, she said quietly. Michael Sullivan. He's still alive, living in Arizona. I'm flying out next week. Yesterday she sent me a photo, her sitting beside an elderly man with her same distinctive eyebrows and chin. They were both smiling. This morning a package arrived from Grandma Helen's recipe box with a note. These belong with you. Charted out, you are the only one brave enough to see what's really inside. Some people spend their lives hiding from uncomfortable truths. Others recognize that what makes us human isn't our perfection, but how we face our flaws. I am still a terrible cook, but I am learning that some recipes, like the ones for healing and truth, don't require any skill in the kitchen.